While seemingly normal at the start of his rule, Justin II of the Byzantine Empire slowly lost himself to insanity in his final years. After allowing Persia to take over Italy, Justin II found himself in a deep depression that evolved into what historians believe was schizophrenia. He would regularly hear voices that drove him to do mad things, such as bite his servants repeatedly, and on some occasions, order them to be cooked for his meals. His servants discovered that the only way to appease Justin II's mad fits was to wheel him around in a makeshift wheelchair that made him feel as though he were flying around the castle. Made infamous by his name, Ivan the Terrible certainly lived up to his title after repeatedly killing his own servants and countrymen. Having been abused in his childhood, Ivan the Terrible grew up seething with constant rage that developed into insanity. He murdered his own family members with glee and constantly struck down his own subjects in embarrassingly painful ways, such as lighting their groins on fire. At the young age of 14, Ivan found himself the ruler of Russia after beating the leader of the country near to death and allowing a pack of dogs to rip the man to shreds. He would only go on to deliver an even more terrifying legacy. A man known as the Zhengde Emperor of China was considered fairly harmless by comparison to Ivan the Terrible, but much more absurd. At the start of his rule in the 16th century, the emperor refused to perform his political duties and instead set out to build a fake shopping center at the end of town so he could force his servants to pretend shop with him. He continuously asked to do a multitude of other bizarre make-believe adventures, such as having fake wars with his own countrymen and forcing them to hunt him down in the woods as though he were a fox. His rule was quick and swift, as he died one evening after falling into the sea drunk. France's Charles IV, also known as Charles the Mad, was a ruler who continuously lashed out at his own servants and citizens in violent manners throughout his reign. He would randomly kill his own soldiers for sport, and could only be stopped by the king's own elite guards who were allowed to touch him. As though that were not embarrassing enough for his servants, he would often wear the skin of a wolf and prance around the castle walls, attacking anyone in his way as though he were a vicious dog. He finally lost control of his country when civil war between his family broke out and tragically cut into his wolf time. With a reign that lasted only 8 years, Eric XIV of Sweden wasted no time in his crazy endeavors. Showing signs of mental instability in his first years as ruler, Eric gave in to his own paranoia and murdered 5 Swedish nobles and imprisoned his own brother. But it was the reason why he imprisoned them that made people question his sanity. Eric believed that he was his own brother, and also believed that he had committed treasonous acts against the king, who was also himself. Constantly devolving into even greater paranoia, Eric finally met his end after he was reportedly poisoned by his own servants, who felt as though they had put up with enough of his crazy acts. I'd like to thank you guys for watching. If you liked the video, please make sure to like it down below and subscribe for more content. Have a great day.